Hello and thank you for joining us on Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Naja Atsutijani. You can watch the replay of this broadcast on our YouTube channel. Remember to also follow us across all social media platforms for the latest news. President Bola Tinubu sympathizes with the families of victims, the people and government of Kaduna State over the mishap in a village at Tudumbiri in Igabi local government area of the state. President Tinubu describes the incident as very unfortunate, disturbing and painful, expressing indignation and grief over the tragic loss of Nigerian lives. The president directs a thorough and full-fledged investigation into the incident, calling for calm while the authorities look diligently into the mishap. The president also directs swift and comprehensive medical attention for surviving victims while praying for the repose of the souls of the deceased. Meanwhile, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, has tendered an unreserved apology to the families and victims of the unfortunate incident on civilians at Tidumbiri Community Afaka Ward, Igabi local government area of Kaduna State. Visiting the mass burial grave of victims, the Army Chief observed a minute's silence, praying for the repose of their souls and promising to work with the government to ameliorate the situation. The death and injury of the villagers occurred during a festive event when a combat drone is reported to have opened fire in a case of missed target fire, later admitted by the Nigerian Army. Online reports had erroneously stated that the Nigerian Air Force was at fault until investigations by the Kaduna State government revealed otherwise. The district head of Rigasa, Aminu Idris, who received the army chief, confirmed the members of his community who died in the incident. 4 individuals identified as having provided financial and material support to terrorist organization have been convicted and sentenced to various terms of imprisonment by a federal high court in Abuja, specially put in place to try terrorism suspects. Olabode Arewa has the details.
The prosecution of the convicts followed allegations as suspected Boko Haram members. The 5 suspects were arraigned by the Federal Ministry of Justice before Justice Binta Muritala Yako. 20-year-old Abacha Mustafa was arraigned on 4 counts of belonging to Boko Haram and participating in their activities. Pleading guilty to only one of the charges, he was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment, while young Musa Manu, who was convicted of knowingly receiving terrorism training used to unleash terror on villages and military troops, he was also sentenced to 10 years and 5 years imprisonment to run concurrently. Malam Ali Shetima of Baga in Borno State, who also got on the wrong arm of the law, received a 10-year correctional sentence for providing logistic support to terrorists. On the other hand, reprieve came the way of Abacha Mustafa's father, Bukar Mohammed, as he was sentenced to 4 years imprisonment for providing material support to his Boko Haram son. His sentence commenced from June 2016 when he was arrested by army troops. In arraigning them, the prosecution had told the court that the charges were in violation of Section 13 of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2013. Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, whenever a person is found guilty by the law of committing a crime against an individual or society, such a convict normally undergoes punishment. But the extent of the sanction is usually influenced by mitigating circumstances. Stakeholders in the criminal justice sector are meeting in Abuja to fine-tune the sentencing on non-custodial measures for those adjudged guilty.
Converged on this all are judges, magistrates, prosecutors, and correctional officers. They are reviewing progress made in the implementation of non-custodial measures and the sentencing guidelines introduced under the Administration of Criminal Justice Act of 2015. These guidelines, which are to give a human face to the cause of justice, include community service as punishment for the convict, payment of fines, and the forfeiture of assets among other punitive measures. This meeting in Abuja is addressing the gray areas observed in the non-custodial sentencing scheme.
The purpose of non-custodial measures is to find effective alternatives to imprisonment for offenders. This is in accordance with the current global shift in punishing convicts with alternatives to prison terms.
The non-custodial measures seek to initiate reformation for the victim, for the defendant, and for the states.
It's more important because it will now reduce the number of inmates that one will fix in the prison yard.
It has helped the government to save money because we have people now doing community service.
The initiative has been particularly beneficial in protecting children from the negative effects of infractions negligently committed by them. In Abuja, Olabode, NTA News.
Motorists and commuters in Benue State have appealed to the federal government to extend the ongoing rehabilitation work of some federal roads to the Makudi-Naka-Adoka axis as a result of rising cases of insecurity along the route due to the deplorable condition of the road. Blessing Omeche Ebute reports.
Vehicle coming behind us. So we stopped over to buy roasted yam. Then the vehicle overtook us. As they were going, we heard a gunshot. So while we hide inside the bush, these people, we don't know them, they have marks on their faces. They came outside, out of the bush, grabbed passengers inside these buses that were going to this eastern states.
Tehemba Congo's experience is one among many tales recorded along the Makudi-Naka-Adoka Federal Road. Some do not even live to recount their stories. The Makudi-Naka-Adoka Federal Road, linking the north central to the eastern part of the country, has become dilapidated, and some criminals now take advantage of the situation to carry out their nefarious activities, which include armed robbery, kidnapping, among others.
The last kidnap, it happened, about 20 minutes before I got to the scene. I saw plenty security men on the road on checkpoint. They are doing their best. I think the road is safe now.
For some commuters, they have to risk plying the road since they do not have any other option.
I have a job to do in Naka this morning, of which I'm going to come back tomorrow again. I don't have option. It's just though we must confirm from the soldiers on the way before we go ahead. If they say we shouldn't go, we will not go.
They appeal to the federal government to extend the ongoing rehabilitation work to the axis so as to reduce the rising cases of insecurity bedeviling the area. In Makudi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
And Blessing is live in Abuja, in Makudi rather, for more on what security measures are being taken to deter nefarious activities along the route, especially as the Yuletide approaches. Blessing, what is being done to nip the menace in the bud?
Okay, thank you, Naja. This is Adaka, a rural settlement in Makudi local government area of Benue State. The road right behind me is the Makudi-Naka-Adoka Federal Road linking Benue State to Kogi and the eastern part of the country. Over the last decade, this road has remained in a deplorable condition, subjecting motorists and commuters to rough journey. As if that is not enough, criminal elements have taken advantage of the bad condition of the road to wreak havoc on unsuspected road users. Currently, the route has become a death trap for motorists and commuters as cases of kidnapping and armed robbery are recorded on a daily basis. A particular case happened on the 8th of November where the state-owned transport company vehicle was attacked and all 14 passengers kidnapped. They are still in the den of the kidnappers. I have with me here the Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Benue State Command, DSC, Michael Ejeliku, who will shed more light on the rising cases of insecurity along this road. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my sister.
How will you assess the level of insecurity, particularly along the Makurdi-Naka-Doka Federal Road?
From the recent happening, the insecurity situation around this route looks and sounds so worrisome. But one of the things I want to assure you is that no matter how it looks, it does not look insurmountable.
Okay, how will you assess the level of collaboration between you and other sister agencies in tackling this menace?
Massive, it's been so cordial. Here in Benue State, security agencies, of course we know the Nigerian police force is in charge of internal security, but in the business of security, there is no buffer zone for all security agencies. Therefore, under the stewardship of Commandant Yakubu Ibrahim, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps have been able to synergize and collaborate with other sister security agencies, particularly the Nigerian Police Force, in trying to come to the table with a coordinated approach in fighting the myriad of security challenges here in Benue State. It's been so cordial and it's been wonderful. It's already yielding results, as a matter of fact, here in Benue State.
Okay, the Yuletide is upon us. How do you intend to handle the influx of people into the state?
Talking about synergy, you know that there's a component part of security that has to do with Federal Road Safety Corps. As we speak, sensitization is already taking place, particularly with members of the National Union of Road Transport Workers. What we want to do in this Yuletide in Benue, as it relates influx of people, is to ensure that details of passengers are faking boarding, to ensure that we have data to respond to issues of insecurity as much as possible. And of course, I'm aware that the Federal Road Safety Corps is already doing form of talks, and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps is already collaborating with them in that regard to ensure that we manage the number of persons coming into the state, to ensure that we have an itch-free Yuletide. That also part of the deployment, particularly our command, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense, is doing. Of course, we are doing deployment. We are increasing our surveillance, especially it has to do with motor parks. And of course, you know, it's at this season that oftentimes the speed of child trafficking increase. So we want to ensure that we do our undercover intelligence and get it right to ensure that at this Yuletide, we have everything under check as it has to do with insecurity in Benue.
Thank you very much. You've heard it from the Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Benue State Command, shedding more light on the level of insecurity and how his men are going to handle the road during the Yuletide. It's over to you now, Naja, for continuation of Nationwide.
Much blessing. We'll be expecting more updates from time to time from your end. Meanwhile, speaking of abduction, 4 siblings kidnapped by a tricyclist hired to take them to school has brought shock and confusion to the parents as they cry out to government and other good-spirited Nigerians to help them trace their children. Ifoma Undu Koni reports that the 4 missing children, aged 7, 4, and twins, aged 2, were last seen on Monday, 27th November 2023.
I wanted to stop keke for them. The akara I'm doing is about to burn, so I told them, wait for me, let me turn it and come back. So immediately I make a move. The senior one called me, Mommy, don't bother yourself, you already find keke. And I waved them goodbye and I pray. My eye, the person that ride the keke is a young boy, he's fair in compression. Reached that Monday around 3 o'clock, I didn't see them. After 3, I have to call their school proprietor. And I found out that my children did not even reach to school in that morning.
That was the pathetic story of Mrs. Oluchi Chimobi, Mother of 4 missing children who boarded an unknown tricycle last week, Monday, 27th November, to school, but are yet to return.
When I came back, my wife told me it's a reality. My children went to school, have never been found.
They were not in school that day. As I'll be coming to school in the morning hours, I'll see their father standing on the road, putting them into any keke that he sees. I invited the parents to the school and told them that these children are very small. It's better that he looks for a keke man or any man that he knows very well that will be bringing them and bringing them back just the way he did last time.
Abia State Police Public Relations Officer, while confirming the incident, described it as a case of negligence on the part of the parent.
It is carelessness to send your children out without anybody accompanying them, knowing that the highest or the most senior is 7 years. They have failed in their responsibility.
As investigations continue on the whereabouts of the 4 children, it is the prayer of all that they return unharmed. In Umuahia, Ifeoma Ndu Okolie, NTA News.
Ifeoma, we'll be expecting good news. It's our hope that they will be found. Similarly, parents of kidnapped female students of the Federal University Gusau Zamfara have cried out as the girls have been in captivity for more than 70 days. The traumatized parents besieged the entrance of the Zamfara State Government House, Gusau, where they appealed to relevant authorities to make more efforts towards securing the immediate release of their daughters. Jamilu Ibrahim reports.
It will be recalled that on 22nd September this year, armed terrorists broke into some off-campus hostels of the Federal University Gusau Zamfara State and kidnapped more than 20 students, 13 of whom are still in captivity. After more than 2 months of sorrowful waiting, parents of the kidnapped students have cried out. The parents, who came from across some states of the Federation, besieged the entrance of Zamfara State Government House Gusau as they regretted that the fate of their kidnapped daughters is still unknown.
Nobody called me. Up to date, nobody called me.
This is almost about 74 days. She's out of the school completely. We don't know the condition she is at presently.
They appeal to the relevant authorities to do more effort towards ensuring the safe rescue of the girls.
The BC, after meeting with him about 2 months back, he said there is nothing he can do in this issue. To our unsurprising, even today, they are even preparing to make exams in the school. Well, our daughters are there in the bush.
Meanwhile, effort to get the response of Zamfara State Police Command on the matter was unsuccessful. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Adiola is in Lagos with more reports on Nationwide. Adiola.
As President Tinubu-led administration seeks ways to revive the nation's economy, create jobs and provide an enabling environment for investment, one major area that should be considered for sustainable growth, experts say, is the courier and logistics subsector. Correspondent examines available opportunities in logistics and supply chain ecosystem and the need to develop infrastructure to promote ease of doing business.
Data by the International Trade Administration shows that in 2020, Nigeria was ranked 110 out of 190 countries in the Logistics Performance Index.
It's not less than 10 trillion naira worth of assets. And that is an industry that has the capacity to create millions and millions of employment opportunities.
The country's freight and logistics market size, according to Statista, stands at $14.42 billion in 2023 and is expected to reach $20.58 billion by 2029.
We have a formidable regulatory guideline.
This gathering therefore identified deficits in infrastructure, poor implementation of policies, and unstable power supply as some of the challenges militating against the growth of the industry.
It will not be out of place for this government to create a ministry to take care of courier and logistic services, to consequently also be able to coordinate all infrastructures relating to courier and logistics services.
There should be a concerted effort to get these roads built on any PPP basis, such that the roads can be tolled.
With the African Continental Free Trade Area AfCFTA, Nigeria now has free access to the entire African market, which will impact the logistics sector in the future. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
Convinced of projections to rejuvenate the nation's ailing economy, the federal government, through the Apex Bank, has called for bank recapitalization, which will serve as a strong revival vehicle for the economy. In this special report, Larry Bilei takes a look at the recapitalization process and the $1 trillion projected economy.
Bank recapitalization is a government initiative to provide new capital to public sector banks with higher liabilities than assets. It is also a reform in the banking sector that increases the amount of long-term finances used by the bank. With the federal government's announcement of its intention to revive the Nigerian economy with $1 trillion for 7 years, banks that must be a major player in this economic vision must have the financial wherewithal to be part of its successful implementation.
Technically, recapitalization can be two forms. Either you increase your equity or you increase your debt. But banks are always encouraged to increase equity more than debt because of the risk involved. So now the CBN is saying, shore up your capital so that you'll be able to have that financial muscle to play your role as a financial development.
Recapitalization of the banks is expected to first quench the thirst of economic stability, that is the desire of every business, improve investors' confidence within and outside the country, and expand financing of MSMEs from the accrued benefits which help strengthen the banking sector and increase financial systems.
Nigerian GDP as of 2021, stood at $440.3 billion. In 2021, then in 2022 we grew it to $477.93 billion. Now in the next 7 years, the government said, I want to move this GDP growth to $1 trillion economy. In order for us to be able to do this, the financial system has to be strengthened, because we need the banking system that will be able to support that GDP growth that we are aspiring to achieve.
Economists caution, however, that the recapitalization process should be a continuous development as long as the goal is to achieve a $1 trillion economy in the next 7 years. In Lagos, Larry Bilei, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Salamatu in our Kaduna Network Center has the next set of reports. Stay with us. After this break, she'll be on.
Renewed Hope Initiative, a pet project of the First Lady, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Oluremi Tinubu, is up and running. Meeting targets, fast touching lives. Renewed Hope Initiative comes with a clear interventionist mandate, catering to the poor, needy, and vulnerable.
Empowering women is not just a slogan for us in the Renewed Hope Initiative, RHI, but a commitment towards a better life for families in every state of the Federation.
RHI, tending the weak, letting the poor breathe, bringing back the smile, leaving no one behind. Changing the narrative towards a better family.
It's time for First Bank's Win Big promo. 170 million naira up for grabs. Open or reactivate your First Bank account. Deposit and maintain a minimum of 5,000 naira for just 30 days. And the soft life begins. Transact up to 5 times on our digital channels. And guess what? You could be a lucky 100,000 naira winner each month. But wait, there's more. Deposit and maintain 50,000 naira each month for 4 months, or deposit 200,000 naira for 4 months, and you could stand a chance to win a whooping 1 million naira in the grand finale.
Don't
Don't miss your chance to win big with First Bank. This promo runs till February 23rd, 2024 and is open to new and existing account holders. Terms and conditions apply. Keep transacting, keep winning. You first. First Bank.
The National Council for Arts and Culture introduces the first National Stakeholders Conference on the review of the past 35 editions of the National Festival of Arts and Culture, NAFEST, a platform for holistic and robust deliberations on NAFEST for wealth creation and a key player in the creative economy, in line with Mr. President's renewed hope agenda. Acknowledging and honouring their excellencies, the executive governors of the 36 states and the FCT minister for their contributions to the success of the past 35 editions of NAFEST. Venue, Chida Hotel, Abuja. Date 5th to 8th December 2023. Time 10 a.m. daily. All stakeholders are hereby invited to come and let's celebrate the bond of unity that our cultural heritage brings. NAFEST, the festival that unites the nation. Announcer, Otumba Olusegun Rushewe, OON, Director General, National Council for Arts and Culture.
Grierson got through everyone and he's come to the finish. Sharpie's got hold of it. Oh, he's really got hold of it. The pass now on Nico Zotterman. He's got plenty of support. This is Baumgartner. That's goal number 3. That's the game, surely.
Sportybet sponsors coverage of the German Bundesliga.
Back to our Abuja studios, we'll be joining Kaduna later on. Making real the intent and purpose of the 2024 proposed appropriation of 27.5 trillion naira has taken center stage at a retreat for stakeholders convened by the Senate Committee on Appropriations. The retreat, with the theme Budget and Budgetary Process, Delivering Improved Outcomes in 2024, highlights the prospects of the proposed appropriation and the financial viability of Nigeria beyond 2024. The President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, restated the determination of the executive and legislature to making things work for Nigeria.
National Assembly, under my leadership, to ensure that we think of the Nigerian people first, and we budget for the Nigerian people, and we make the laws that will favor the Nigerian people, and we collaborate with the current administration's determination to succeed. And our prayer is that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will, just like he laid the foundation of success in Lagos, his foundation will start with this budget, and Nigeria will change for the better.
Ministers and heads of government agencies, including the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, attended the retreat. Tourism in Cross River State suffered a downward slide some time ago, but on the upside, with barely 6 months into the Senator Basio II-led administration, with his People First mantra, the governor is intentionally repositioning the state on the tourism world map with the introduction of creativity into the month-long Calabar Festival tagged Season of Sweetness. Archibong Bassi reports.
saddled with the mandate of putting up the most amazing and breathtaking Calabar Fiesta of 32 days season of sweetness, the Cross River State Governor, Senator Basi Otu, has carefully offered the state the opportunity to ride on its rich cultural heritage to host the world.
Many people are coming, and the preparation that is going on now shows us that he's working well.
You know, we have bad roads which have been fixed up, at least to make sure the city is clean.
We have come up with a package in which visitors can have a one-stop access to effective, efficient, secure transportation system.
Commissioner for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Abubakar Ewa, assures tourists and fun seekers of an enabling environment to relax and catch fun.
We have beautiful tour sites. We have the Agboko waterfall that have 7 colors from very high top hitting the ground to the Cross River.
The rejuvenation of the city is all geared towards the state reclaiming its pride of place in the tourism sector with the infusion of innovation to the 2023 Carnival Calabar International Festival, which commenced on the 30th of November 2023 with lighting of the 40-feet Christmas tree at the Millennium Park. In Calabar, Achibombasi, NTA News.
Well, many Nigerians know that December is Carnival Calabar month, and many Nigerians look forward to the carnival. Justina Etim is standing by live at the Millennium Park, a major center of activities for Carnival Calabar 2023, which seems to be undergoing an upgrade. What's happening, Justina?
Thank you, Najatu. One event that has put Cross River State on the map as one of the preferred tourist destinations in the country is actually Carnival Calabar. Just last week, the 32 days uninterrupted fun commenced, and the city is already wearing a new look, all in preparations for the host of the 2023 Carnival Calabar. With me here to speak further on the development is the chairman, Cross River State Carnival Commission, Mr. Gabe Ona. Mr. Ona, you're welcome.
Good afternoon. Good to be here again.
Now, it's been a long time Cross River State witnessed this kind of magnitude of preparations ahead of the carnival. So tell us about the aesthetics. What did you do to give the state this current facelift that we are witnessing?
I think what we are experiencing this time around is just the power of vision, the power of grace, and the power of a strong woman behind a strong man. And it took the prayer of this great couple, the governor and his dear wife, His Excellency Prince Basi Otu, and his dear wife, to rejig Carnival Calabar and Festival. And of course, in every tourism concept of this nature, after 10 years, after 20 years, or after 30 years, foresighted people go back to the boardroom to rejig and to reimagine. And this is why we are here where we are today.
Okay, like you said, Cross River State is ready to host the world. So tell us, how many bands are competing in the 2023 Carnival Calabar, and how many countries are going to feature in the carnival? And what is the actual date for the carnival?
This year we are playing the great team. The Sweet Prince is introducing what they call the Season of Sweetness. There are 7 carnival bands already registered. For the international participation, we are still receiving indications, and tidying up this aspect of it. For the first time in a long time, Carnival is going to flag off 9 a.m. for 9 a.m. This has been shown in the 2 previous dry runs that held. The team is actually brought about because after the COVID year, there has been this disaffection for travel. There has been this laid-back situation, if you like. Everybody was affected with the COVID-19 pandemic that hit the world. So this is our own gift from God, our own gift to the world. And the governor and his wife, in their wisdom, have decided to say, let's give it our all. And this is what we are experiencing.
All right, Carnival has been for so many years now. So what are the economic gains that it has added to the state?
Well, the socio-economic impact of this concept is clear to the open eyes. We inherited about 2,300.
We had a bit of a delay with the audio signal there from Calabar, and we would like to know more about the preparations and, of course, the innovations concerning the carnival in Calabar. Justina, we'll be expecting more from you. The National Human Rights Commission has brainstormed with stakeholders on issues of human rights litigations with a view to securing Nigeria's future. Omenka Marachuku reports that the engagement focuses on the current challenges on litigation of human rights in Nigeria and also on the new pathway for effective human rights enforcement in the country.
Where litigation is a viable and accessible tool for upholding human rights in Nigeria. This is not our fight alone, it is a collective responsibility. We must reject the apathy that allows human rights violations to fester. We must embrace legal literacy and familiarize ourselves with our rights.
At the end of the day, we are hoping that we shall emerge with what we can see across the entire society that could be looked upon as the human rights agenda, which will emanate from this whole gathering this week, and that will guide us in our work next year.
The stakeholders are also calling for more sensitization of citizens regarding human rights abuse and steps to be taken to get redress in the court of law. Let's now join Charles in Makurdi for more on Nationwide. Hello, Charles.
For 14 legislative days because of misconduct. Grace Anyalewa Ichekba reports.
The suspension of the 4 members followed a motion moved by the majority leader of the House, Sate Tise, and seconded by the majority chief whip, Peter Ipusu.
Mr. Speaker, I stand on that rule in our order to move that the following: Douglas Akia, Honorable representing Makurdi South State Constituency, Honorable Antonia Gom, representing Opoku State Constituency, Right Honorable Diako Cephas, representing Konshisha State Constituency, Honorable Gila Solomon, representing Gwe West State Constituency, be suspended for interrupting the business of this honorable House and holding us for hours.
Honorable Speaker, I want to second, without missing words, that such members desire and deserve to be suspended for a period of 14 working legislative days.
The Speaker, Onduna Dajo, who expressed sadness over the activities of the suspended members, said, "Any member who engages in any activity capable of sabotaging the House proceedings will be disciplined accordingly."
Honorable Douglas Akia, Anthony Agon, Honorable Solomon Gila, Honorable Cephas Diako has been suspended for the period of 3 months.
Also during plenary, 21 out of 23 lists of caretaker committee chairmen submitted to the House by Governor Alia were approved. The 2 local government areas that were not approved are Agatu and Oju. From the Benue State House of Assembly, Grace Anyalewa Ichekpa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Benue State government has reaffirmed its commitment in protecting the rights of women and expunging unethical practices against them. Governor Hyacinth earlier emphasized this at the inauguration of the No Woman, No Nation, a women empowerment initiative. Elias Itiab has more.
New mandate for better Nigeria.
God help us.
The No Woman, No Nation, a women empowerment initiative under the support of Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Bola Tinubu, seeks to promote the welfare of women across the country through various endeavors. National Chairman of the No Woman, No Nation initiative, Akintola Olowashayo, said the non-governmental organization strives to promote a society where equality, inclusivity, gender balance, and economic empowerment is a priority.
We support policies that encourage women to achieve success in their choosing industry, as well as equal pay, decent working conditions for all women.
Governor Hyacinth earlier, who acknowledged the vital role of women in ensuring a better society, said it is in recognition of this that his administration has continued to project the interest and welfare of women in all state affairs.
We are prepared and willing to support individuals and groups that have good ideas to take our people and state higher in terms of peace, economic growth, and the actualization of personal and collective goals.
High points of the event were the inauguration of the Executive Committee, investiture of the Governor as the Grand Patron of the No Woman, No Nation initiative, and presentation of souvenirs, as well as the flag-off of distribution of food items to women in the state. In Makudi, Elias Etiaf, NTA News.
That report rounds off our contribution from Makudi Nationwide continues with Najatu in Abuja after this timeout.
Contract, partnership, promotion, publication, manufacturing, STBS, start times, lectures, ICT and training, production and sales, TV expos, events, local and international roadshows, exhibition, both local and international. We are at Area 11 Garkia, Abuja, opposite Abuja Geographical Information System, AGES, or visit our website www.ntatve.com.ng and our social media platforms, Twitter at NTA TV Enterprise, Facebook, NTA TV Enterprise, Instagram at NTA TV Enterprise, and these numbers on 070-3502-6056, 090-19557180.
Centenary celebration of the evolution of political parties in Nigeria from 1923 to 2023, 100 years. In our democratic journey so far, a mission that midwifed the birth of nationhood and greatness. Exactly 100 years ago, in 1923, as a crown colony, the enactment of the Clifford Constitution brought significant progress by introducing the elective principle in Nigeria. This led to an upsurge in political awareness, participation, and activities leading to the formation of the initial political parties. We have been through surgical knives of political differences and preferences, yet our destination remains the same. Today, we're standing tall as Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC. We are political parties navigating through Nigeria's democratic journey. This is the year of our centenary. A year to celebrate commitment, tenacity, and patriotism in one Nigeria. IPAC, deepening and consolidating democracy.
He's now gone. It's back with Matoma. The cross clipped in, and Brighton have the breakthrough
For Lyle Foster! And he kept his composure. It's a big save from Sarr. It's back though for Estepinian to double Brighton's lead. Brilliant timing for Roberto.
Sportybet sponsors coverage of the English Premier League.
They swore an oath to serve our fatherland and defend the people. They traded their freedom, comfortable homes, and mortgaged their lives on the battleground for our unity and peaceful living. These are the great, loyal, and committed Nigerian armed forces who risked their lives courageously to safeguard our borders. But in the line of duty, many never returned. Nigerians, arise, let's celebrate our fallen heroes. Put on the remembrance emblem to support the incapacitated and families of our fallen heroes.
We owe a debt of gratitude to our gallant troops who have risen to the challenge of securing this great nation.
across all ministries, parastatals, religious and corporate bodies to donate generously to the Emblem Appeal Launch. Send your donations to these accounts. Account name, Emblem Appeal Launch. Account number 393-200-7526. EcoBank Nigeria PLC.
Sportybet sponsors coverage of the Italian Serie A.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, has attracted the attention of the Young Women Initiative for Peace and Productivity, who have honored the authority for its impact on the socio-economic growth of the nation. Deborah Balagobo reports.
An initiative for peace and productivity aims at providing solutions to curbing the risk of crime through skills development. This goal can only be achieved with collaboration with NTA.
It's a TV station that is viewed all over Africa, and for now, it's the best.
Executive Director Admin and Training NTA, Nansen Minia, commended the group for the glowing tribute on the management of NTA, noting that the authority has upgraded its output to reach even the most remote areas, and it is committed to serve.
Your visit here today has shown that you appreciate what the leadership of the Nigerian Television Authority is doing.
In the same vein, the League of Women Voters of Nigeria also came calling. The group is seeking collaboration in the area of championing unity, peace, and gender equality.
This organization is out there to partner with government and other development organizations to see how our programs can be laudable.
Talked about collaboration, so we expect NTA to be our media partners.
And we are known as an organization that champions unity, love, peace, women empowerment, and gender equality.
Executive Director Marketing promised that NTA would partner with them to achieve their goals and objectives. In Abuja, Deborah Balagobo, NTA News.
The community of persons living with disabilities has in recent times enjoyed a number of inclusive empowerment programs. But before that report, let's join Kaduna.
Good evening and welcome to Kaduna. Minister of State Defense Bello Muhammad says modalities will be put in place to forestall a reoccurrence of the unfortunate incident that occurred at Tudumbiri Community, Igabi local government area of Kaduna State. The minister stated this after visiting victims of the incident at Barrow Dikko Teaching Hospital, Kaduna, in company of the Chief of Defense General Christopher Musa and other members of the military.
And the ministry will take care and charge of all the bills of these victims. And arrangement is going to be made to make sure that these incidents will never occur again.
Earlier, Chief of the Army Staff Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja had visited Tudumbiri village on a fact-finding mission and was received by the district head of Rigasa, Aminu Idris, and later was at the graveyard of those that were killed.
Of the Nigerian Army drone strike.
Tudumbiri, a mixed community of Muslims and Christians, was attacked by the military in error. Meanwhile, victims of Tudumbiri misfire incident in Igabi local government area of Kaduna State who are hospitalized at the Barrow Dikko Teaching Hospital, Kaduna, are recuperating. Correspondent Jamila Abubakar reports.
Victims of misfire incident of Tudimbiri village in Igabi local government area that are receiving medical attention at the Barodiko Teaching Hospital, Kaduna, are responding to treatment. The 71 patients who sustained various degree of injuries are being given necessary care. Relatives of the victims are seen in clusters discussing their ordeal.
What happened in our village on that day really shocked us. My brother and neighbor lost 2 of their children.
Chairman Medical Advisory Committee of the hospital, Dr. Shaibu Musa, said the hospital is making frantic efforts to ensure that victims are resuscitated.
Of this hospital, we don't turn out any patient. So what happens is that we started seeing them even without even knowing their fullness. So we're treating them. Some were being transfused. Those for suturing were being sutured. Those with fractures that needed application of plasters and traction were doing that. And of course, those to be taken to theater were immediately taken to the theater. So that was what we did. We did that almost within the first few hours. We were able to sort them out.
He called for the support and cooperation of the victims' relatives. In Kaduna, Jamila Abubakar, NTA News.
And that update completes our package. From here, over to you, Naja'atu.
Thank you, Salamatu. Now back to our report on the community of persons living with disabilities who have benefited from a leadership retreat on the legal framework for disability rights and inclusion. Gufan Shaji Ugwanyi reports.
Dorothy Osarono is the Special Assistant on Media to the Governor of Rivers State. She is attending this governance and leadership workshop for persons with disabilities to equip herself with the requisite knowledge and skill to help her run her office. She says, unlike previous years, the advocacy for inclusivity is gaining momentum as seen in appointments of persons with disabilities and different government empowerment programs. Dorothy also says the issue of discrimination remains a big challenge.
A lot of us are very, very brilliant people. Because we are disabled does not mean that we are disabled upstairs. No, we are not.
So our biggest challenge is discrimination.
At government level, the Chairman Committee on Disability says issues on the rights of persons with disabilities continue to play on the floor of the House of Representatives, and with such innovations like this leadership workshop, more appointees will raise their advocacy for the needs and rights of persons with disabilities.
The committee has been doing a lot of outreach. We actually intend to do an agenda-setting event where we're going to call our stakeholders.
We have decided that we're going to not only give mental capacity, but also to find wherever we can get facilities for them in terms of laptop, furnishing their offices and all that.
It is also expected that this workshop will aid appointees, provide adaptive leadership communication styles, create self-awareness and emotional intelligence to navigate workplace dynamics. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji Ugwanyi, NTA News.
Let's now join our sports desk for updates.
With a 5-0 first-leg advantage win, Nigeria's Super Falcons look set to pick one of the tickets to the 2024 Nations Cup in Morocco when the team takes on their host, Cape Verde, Tuesday evening. The Super Falcons assure football-loving Nigerians of flying past their opponents during the second leg of the final round of qualification for Morocco 2024 this evening.
We are not giving anything to chance and we're not taking anything for granted. We are here to play and win.
Nigeria has one leg in Morocco already. We have never missed the championship, and I don't think this is the time we are going to miss it.
In volleyball, Nigeria's under-17 volleyball female team will face their counterpart from Cameroon on Wednesday at the ongoing 2023 Under-17 Girls Championship in Abuja. Hamad Zango reports that the winner of the encounter will face Egypt in the final.
I think they are growing. This is a new team. And I can see that quite a lot of them will be traveling out of Nigeria for professional volleyball.
In tennis, Novak Djokovic ended the year as number 1 in the ATP rankings for the 8th time. He won 3 of the 4 Grand Slams, the Australia Open in January, French Open in June, and US Open in September, to raise his career total titles to 24. In boxing, Nigeria's Mary Abbey, World Boxing Federation WBF champion, added another belt to her kitty when she defeated her Tanzanian opponent, Lulu Kayage, via unanimous decision at the Brai Ayunite Boxing Hall of the National Stadium, Surulere, Lagos. It was the Super Flyweight International Challenge bout of the Lagos Boxing Initiative, tagged Big Boxing Bouts, sanctioned by Nigeria Boxing Board of Control.
I'm not tired because I train hardly. So the strength is there, the experience is there.
We are trying to at least bring back our boxing to the global height, where everybody all over the world will appreciate us and know that we have good boxers here in Nigeria.
Most of the other bouts of the night recorded technical knockouts. With sports update, Olumide Guntola, NTA News.
And Justin, we have our correspondent on standby to give us an update from Kaduna. Hello, Haruna.
Thank you. On Sunday night, it was a sad one here on Monday morning as a result of the attack that took place on Sunday night, misfire, that took place on Sunday night that led to the loss of life of so many people in Tudumbiri community. Meanwhile, yes, I can hear.
So what's the situation from the hospital, Haruna?
Okay, I am at Barodiko Teaching Hospital at the moment, and just a few minutes ago, the Kaduna State government paid their condolence visit, went to the visit to the Mbiri community, where they condole the community on the sad incident that happened that led to the loss of life of so many people, and some of them have been moved to the health facility here in Kaduna, which is Barodiko Teaching Hospital. But with me is the Chairman Advisory Committee of the hospital to tell us the situation of the or level of health condition of the victims that were brought here. With me is Dr. Shuaibu Aliu to tell me, sir, can you tell us what is the health condition of these victims that were brought to your facility here, sir?
Okay, a total of 71 victims were brought to this facility, out of which we lost one last night. Then the other 70 are still alive. Out of these 70, we took 5 for an emergency operation to the theater, and then they are now stable. Now the others have varying degrees of injuries, from mild to moderate severity. So those ones are also equally stable.
That's all from the CMAC, but just some few minutes ago, the state minister also visited the facility, where he came to also pay his to see the victims who are also here.
All right, Haruna, we expect that in the coming days, of course, we'll have more updates, and we hope for good news for all who have been involved in the incident. Thank you for joining us on Nationwide. I'm Naja Atutijani.